too?
I got it.
You're rolling? All right. So he's rolling. So, nobody ever gets Matt behind the camera. So we're going to get Matt behind the camera. But I know it's his interview, but, we'll send this to him later. He can cut it in
Wait,
as
is
B
this
or
a
burn
shameless
it.
plug for the hat you just gave me?
No, this is not a shameless plug for the hat I just gave you. This is
If so, that's brilliant. So, Mike, welcome to Florida. How do you feel like your Florida trip this time around? What do you like about Florida?
Well, this time around, it's been pretty entertaining. We're moving into a new area and checking some stuff out. I'm used to either a little farther east of here or farther south. So actually, I've been a little north of here as well, in and out of some of the different landscapes. It's been kind of interesting looking to see what's down here. To see the orange orchards and some of the other environmental stuff here, some of the prairie stuff that we passed over yesterday and today.
Yeah, so this is a new area for me, but still well within what I consider my corridor series. I catch a lot of stuff about the corridor being only anywhere from 1 mile to 5 mile wide, and being in Florida. I mean, honestly, and no bullcrap. I'm going to use whatever you say, but
right. No, where I just went, took a nice little walk, where we were yesterday. There's definitely a lot of animal sign, a lot of pig sign. I just dropped down in a little swamp area. There's nothing in that area but animal sign. I did see some markers for some hunters, but it's what we saw, 2 years ago when you and I went out for the first time, and it's kind of interesting, the area and what I found wildlife-wise, the creepy, swampy, stagnant water that I didn't get too close to because, you always hear those horror stories of that's where the gator or the croc's going to pop out of, and that's exactly what it looked like. It had that perfect swamp monster with the cypress knees and such. And then we come up top here and, looking at what the vegetation and stuff is a little different.
So last night we did a, you want to talk about the bike ride and the use of the thermals and what you brought? You always bring a lesson to me.
So, last night was awesome. You brought bikes down. Last year we did kayaks. The year before we were out on foot. So we're getting, we had a little road work during the day, get an idea, and then broke the bikes out later. And, 2 guys on electric, 2 of us old timers on, pedal bikes. It was kind of nice. It was quiet to move around and got us around quicker so we could get different areas. And we ran thermals. You ran your thermal and I had 2 with me and some night vision. Definitely a difference you can see in those sensors and the ranges and the old adage, you get what you pay for. But the technology, how it keeps advancing, and the price levels are comparable where they were. So put that money aside. It's really nice to kind of say, okay, you're seeing something behind a tree and going, hey, there's something here on your setup, and we won't bash that brand or anything like that. And I was using a different setup, and what I could say when I said, hey, take this camera and use this camera, and you're like, wow, well, there's 2 trees there, it's not something else moving. And then we upgraded to a bigger camera, and wow, with the definition is just, it's totally different. And I'm still learning that particular camera that I started using yesterday, and I got pretty lucky to meet the guy that sold it to me, and get out in the field with him and show me how to use it 2 nights before down in the glades. So nice using it in different environments. Can't wait to use it up in New York when it's not 4 below. So if this 73 degrees, it was kind of nice to look at the transitions. So
what made you bring such high tech to the field of Bigfooting?
If it's really out there, we've got a better ability to pick things up. You bringing the cameras, and now I'm trying to follow in your footsteps with the digital cameras and the technology that's there. Let's use it. Even if it's a free app on the phone. Right now we got the phones running, checking the Merlin app and seeing what birds are here in the area. Last night we had a lot of activity with owls and other animals. So having that recording, being able to look and scan, and it's just data collection that you can put. So somebody says, I have this in an area, we can go and look. So last night we used the Bigfoot mapping projects maps to kind of look and see, hey, what's in the area. But then again, I can look and see what, with the mapping, what rivers around here, what animal and wildlife is here. It just, having that extra technology. What goes bumping tonight? Yep, that's a squirrel, that's an armadillo, that's a deer. No, we have a bear. And lately, having that extra tech with me out in the field, twice walking up on bears. It's been nice having that thermal go, no, you don't want to go that way. So, and if there is a two-legged hominoid creature walking through, hopefully we'll get some video. So,
What do you think are surprised or not surprised with the traffic or little traffic or a lot of traffic that you see here in the corridor?
so what I'm very interested in, and what I saw is the amount of animal sign, the wild boar, the deer, and the ability for them to move. If you look at the overview and then get the boots on the ground, there is plenty of room for something to move from point A to point B. Be it a dry riverbed, be it some of the lower sinkholes, you can kind of get around without really crossing paths with human, intervention. Even though we're up close and where we've been, there's traffic, but you still have rail lines, you still have some other pipelines and stuff that you can get around, but just the natural resources that are here. The creek bed that we were in yesterday, real easy, far enough away from the general driving public to see it, but the vegetation is there to cover things. It's got its high points of moving something. If you wanted to move an animal through an area, there's plenty of food, plenty of vegetation, as we saw yesterday. So
We both have channels that could use more subscribers, and we don't do things to hoax people into subscribing, but we did partner last night in a cool way. You want to talk about that?
And that's just it. We've partnered a couple of times, and when we're out partnering, we're sharing. So I'm in New York, Pennsylvania, sometimes into Mass, in Pennsylvania. I mean, it's just, we're in that area. You're down here, the environment's different, how the animals react. Heck, I even got some cool bugs where I was out there, a really cool beetle I got to show you the picture of, But by having our general conversations while we're having a live stream, it allows other people to input. Hey, we're doing this. Hey, we're doing that. There are no experts. We are definitely not experts. I mean, you have a very great background with cameras. I like looking at tech, and I got some background in search and rescue. So when I'm looking at things, and we described some of the stuff last night, doing circle searches or using the tape measures and really looking for those stride lengths. I mean, that's the thing, is we're trying to bring education. If we learn about a new app, be it a 3D scanning app, something you and I have been working with for a couple of years, your phones for the photographs. It was shown to me, instead of carrying, and today was, what are we at now? We're 78 degrees. Yesterday was in the high 80s. Carrying around that extra 20 pounds of hydrocal in the water to go with it, that's a little bit, on you. I mean, yeah, you can do it, but I like trying to go lighter because I want to take photos of what I'm out carrying. So using those apps, that technology is there, and allowing the audience to share the time with us in the woods. We're not making it up. We didn't see anything that jumped out and said, I'm a big hairy creature in the woods, but hey, we got some great owls that folks can take one of these, like the Merlin app, and listen. You can see which owl it is or what bird it is. Like I said, we're doing that right now. Got some coyotes. That's what we've got. We can give that data to our viewing audience and not say everything that's behind a bush is Bigfoot. If anything, we're disproving what's out there. But we have a lot of friends that have had encounters and sightings that we truly believe that they had some kind of interaction with something. So we can help them come with an answer. That's what we're there for.
And what I liked last night is when you hooked up your thermal, that whole working together, that you were able to Wi-Fi your thermal to your phone, and it came in clearly on my live.
Right.
That I was able to shoot that and share the viewers, because you never know, that was live. I mean, someone could have easily just walked through there, but it didn't.
My thing is, I've got some paper stuff in the works and some things I'm working on, and it's the interest in the other disciplines that go along with Bigfoot. And I think that's, or Sasquatch, or whatever true calling you want to call it wherever you are in the world, even it'd be Yowie, but every time we get into something, it's meeting new people and looking at what we can bring, what I can learn. So I'm still learning, be it, different sounds or different animals or different geography or history of an area. We spent a lot of time yesterday talking about the history in this particular area. I'm constantly learning, and it's probably my interest in archaeology and anthropology, and it's there. If I can give some more information to folks, I guess I'm still going, still putting some data sets together. But like my partner and I say all the time, that what I go out and research with in New York is that if we find one thing interesting during that trip, we've accomplished something. How many times do you see bear in nature? Unless you're living in a high concentration area, unless you're out there in the woods seeing it, or some of the other birds or that. It's still part of the passion, and if something two-legged gets up and walks in front, that's what we're looking for. Hey, it's still something there. It's the camaraderie of being out with some good friends, trying to help educate each other or learning the techniques that are there.
I was thinking last night, how cool would that be on a project like this, where someone comes in from out of state, you or Max has been known, and we've had Alex Petikoff down and everything. You always wish that something would happen on one of those days, and last night I almost thought, at any time we would get lucky, and
right.
and to be with someone who traveled a long way to do it would have just been icing. And I kept thinking about that last night. But
yeah, I mean, hey, man, if something popped out last night, it would have been great. It would have been absolutely perfect, because knowing your photography background, and what we had in kit-wise, be it flags and tapes and everything else to document that, we had the tools to document. We had enough cameras and thermal cameras last night for each of us. And if it was there, we would have got it. I mean, it would have been nice to see some stuff, but you never know. It's like fishing, It's not catching, it's fishing, but we had fun, We got to go out and work on some exercise and get some health. And like I said, we got some good owl data that we can use somewhere down the line.
Right.
I think what I saw and what we might have heard talking with some of the other members is like, well, how can this happen, or how can animals move through an area and you're like so close? Well, this is definitely the particular space we're in. There's enough room to get through pretty easy and disappear into stuff. We watched a deer disappear earlier today. One of the team members saw it. You probably got it on your GoPro, but boom, boom, boom. But we were too busy watching vultures, because that was cool that they had kind of come in right at the same time. So what do you miss in the ground? But this area is enough to move between some of those other focal point areas that you guys have been working down here, and that's just it. Listening to what folks have had, their sightings down here, what they saw in their sighting, and then going to compare that kind of stuff. We talked to Brian and his sighting, and Ron's wife, and those little things, picking up those different sightings of stuff. It's kind of interesting. It's a little different than New York, or on my way down I stopped in West Virginia, listening to what the sightings are up there. And it's the adventure and the people you meet along the way.
Well, very good. Well, I appreciate you coming down as always, and I just wanted to catch you this time and get a few words. Not sure how I'll use it, but if I wrap up this corridor series, I wish I could go back and do everybody that stopped in here. I was thinking last night, why am I not getting sound bites from you guys? Because you bring a lot to the table, and I learn a lot.
But Matt, we appreciate that, and we appreciate your time being down here with you, your viewers, and everything else like that. If I realized when I started this journey how much stuff I should have documented by using the camera in this setup. Document as much as you can, folks, especially the people you're with. It's just the same thing. It's those family memories. I mean, if anything, use the B-roll that we've got, or the outtakes. I think that's funnier than anything.